Welcome back. Well, this is part 2 of the Black Rose Antique Mall haul. Here's the receipt. Here's the stuff. So we'll get started on it when we come back. Before we get started, I'm going to show the t-shirts again very quickly because we have, I think, 1 day left. I think we have just 1 day left. So, last chance to get them ordered. Take a look. Well, back to our Black Rose Antique haul. Here we go with salt and pepper shakers again. These pieces are really, really darling. Tiny little pieces. Occupied Japan. Very, very nice pieces. They're going to be more valuable because they are occupied Japan, but I think they're remarkably eye-catching even without that provenance. So I grabbed these. They were not expensive. Let's start loading up over here for a change. This. This is an unmarked and rather strange little piece. I believe I paid $1 for it. This is all frilled and ruffled, sort of like an applique of ceramic. And it's all intact. Whenever you're looking for something with an applied design, you always want to make sure it's got all its fingers and toes, because that is important. I grabbed this set on the theory that I might want to turn it into a little two-tiered jewelry tray, sort of tidbit tray kind of thing. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. I don't know very much about it. I do think it would make an interesting tray. So I believe I am going to leave that earmarked for the drill. Now, as I mentioned before, on average, everything here was $2.26 per item or set. So, very inexpensive. This is it marked? Yes, it's just marked Japan. It's a Noritake style set. Salt, pepper, and mustard pot. And they have beautiful sailing ships on them. Very interesting. They do not have a caddy. Most of these sets come either on a tray or with a caddy. These do not. However, I can get caddies. That's not a big deal. And I may end up finding a replacement caddy for these because they certainly need one. So I'm going to take a look at that and see how I make out. Pieces like these They never stay in my Etsy shop for more than a couple of days. That's it. They go. They're very, very popular. This is another Noritake style windmills. Again, very unusual because this is not a popular feature in the Japanese landscape. Very sort of Western looking windmills. Salt and pepper shaker, very nice. And here's another windmill. So this, however, is old. This is a Nippon sugar bowl with a windmill. And you can see this very interesting touch. They brought the blade of the windmill right up onto the top of the lid. Beautiful piece. Of course, Nippon, what would you expect? Antique piece. Great, great condition. There is no creamer with it. I am not worried. Sugar bowls all by themselves are remarkably useful, as are creamers. So when I find orphan creamers or orphan sugar bowls, I usually just grab them. If they are good quality, I won't have any trouble selling them. Now, granted, I can do better if they are in a set. Nevertheless, something like this, that is going to beautifully hold jewelry on somebody's dresser. That'll hold tea bags on somebody's kitchen cabinet, or if they happen to have a stove with a shelf like that, you know, very, very nice. This also is Nippon. Now, this is Nippon with the Noritake style pattern. This is Nippon with the more classic blossom pattern. Again, beautiful, beautiful antique piece. Just an orphan sugar bowl. Again, incredibly useful. I see a sugar bowl, and I don't really think in terms of sugar. My first thought is, oh, I bet I could stash stuff in there. So, great little pieces. This, okay, you already know. It's going on a Tidbit tray. This is a wonderful Noritake saucer. It has beautiful color and design, and that's going to really be eye-catching. So that is definitely going on a Tidbit tray. Let's take a quick look at these. What are you? Yes, you are Japan. Again, the Noritake style design. Oh, and here, let me find you a very, oh no, those are windmills. What do we have? That I will find something here that is typical of Noritake. It's, because these are very small, it's the lake, it's the trees. There is no little shack here. Sometimes there's a little swan. Very, very interesting designs. Beautiful pieces. Salt and pepper, very, very nice. Now, salt and pepper shakers, just in case you're interested, I usually sell in my Etsy shop something like this, somewhere between $12 and $20, depending on the quality, on the design, on the condition, etc. The ones that are in sets, pieces like this that will be sitting on a caddy with a little spoon and so on and so forth, usually go for a bit more. And there's no trouble selling them. It's just the way it is. They tend to fly out. There's our typical Noritake design. All right. This is a set, and it's a salad set. It's the oil, the vinegar, and the little mustard potty. There. All on a tray. Now, there is a stopper for this one, too. So I just didn't haul it out yet. It's probably still wrapped up in the box. Very pretty little set. I have never sold one of those sets through my Etsy shop before. This is, however, not going to fetch top dollar. This piece is broken on the edge. I found that out after I ended up getting it home. That happens sometimes. I would say perhaps 1 out of 20 items I pick up has some damage I did not see beforehand. In this case, I'm going to try to soak that glue off and re-glue it myself and do a better job, because that's not a great job. Repaired, it's definitely worth the time it will take to sell it. Obviously, the repair will be disclosed to any potential buyers, but if I can get that properly repaired, at least better than it is now, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be very happy with that set, because it's a beautiful little Lusterware Noritake style set. And there's no reason that someone shouldn't be very happy with that, even if it does have a repair. But do I wish it didn't have a repair? Absolutely. But it's not something I'm going to throw in the trash because of that issue. Now, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. This is Noritake. This is a little 3-footed bowl, probably candy dish, something like that. Nice lines, very nice design. It's a bit unusual because it's a lot more, I don't know, the colors are a little more vibrant than one often sees in Noritake. But it's a nice piece, an old piece. That will sell well. Someone will want that for a candy dish, a little potpourri dish. If I wasn't afraid that a photobomb kitty would come along and lick up my fragrance beads, I might put them in something like that. But, I don't know what he considers a cat treat. This was very inexpensive. It's a Czech Lusterware cup and saucer that is absolutely going to become a tidbit tray along the lines of this one here. That's going to hold plenty of stuff. And very plain coloration, peach and black. It's going to be useful in the kitchen holding, sugar and lemon wedges for tea, or it's going to be useful in a bedroom holding jewelry and loose change. So that's probably not going out the way it is. The thing I like about it is the saucer and cup are both a very generous size. When this is turned into a tidbit tray, it's going to be a tray that you can really stick a lot of stuff in. So let's take a peek at this. Unmarked, Japanese. I don't know if you can see it. This one is yellow, this one is blue. So that means this one is the salt shaker and this one is the pepper shaker because blue. They are clearly a pair, even though they're different colors. They're hand-painted, but the design is virtually identical, or at least as far as you can declare a hand-painted design to be identical. I saw a lot of salt shakers in this particular shape, and I bought a lot of them because they will just zip out of the Etsy store. This is a very popular shape. Let me show you a couple of others. Unmarked, very, very elegant. Same general shape, this sort of, little bulb on the bottom, bulb on the top. These, like I said, these are very elegant. These are not shakers I expect to sit on the kitchen table. I expect these to sit on the dining table. And probably when the queen comes to tea, very, very sweet pieces. Again, same general shape. And those will undoubtedly fly out too. And these, a little simpler, again, not marked. but that same general shape, hand painted, very nice. I have no idea why I kind of got so overwhelmed by all these little pieces this time out, but I did. They were just everywhere, so I bought them. Nippon and marked Nippon. So these are beautiful pieces, antique, just really, really elegant pieces. When I was saying before that salt and pepper shakers usually go for 12 to 20, this is an exception. These will probably go for a little more. They are just gorgeous, flawless Nippon pieces. 100 years old, very, very beautiful. The lines, the decoration, they'll probably go on the higher end. Here, however, is a more pedestrian sort of thing. Japan salt and pepper shakers, they're marked. They're like little flower baskets. Very, very cute. These are not pieces I expect to show up on the dining table, certainly not when the Queen is there. These are pieces I expect to show up on the kitchen table, or maybe the dining table when the Prince comes instead of the Queen. They're a little less formal. Very, very cute pieces, though. Now, let's take a look at this. A little Japanese sugar and cream set. I really like the Japanware from this period. This is from the Second World War era. They were just beautifully painted, just these wonderful, homey, comforting sort of floral designs. Little rosebud on the back. Lovely. And small. That's the other thing. Very small. So, here. Just comparing the sugar bowls, you can see the size difference. I'm not sure what that was all about. Could be, war shortages. No, actually, that doesn't make any sense because those were not coming from Japan. I say World War II era, but I use that term loosely. The Japanese were not exporting porcelain to the U.S. in the Second World War. So that would have been more likely to be the 30s pre-war. So, no, I guess my thought that, war shortages, no, something very different. There was some other reason they were sort of small. I'm going to have to look into that. What are you? You are Nippon. This is a remarkably filthy little Nippon trinket dish. It's beautiful. It's just a delicate pastel flowers, a gorgeous piece of porcelain, and I don't know. I mean, it looks like somebody put out a cigarette in it. When I list this in my Etsy shop, I will probably put a note saying, please do not put out a cigarette in this. This needs to be cleaned up, but it's a beautiful piece. It's got lovely lines, and these delicate little Nippon pieces, you can just put them anywhere. Just blend them right into whatever it is you're doing anyway in your home. Candy dish, trinket dish, change dish at the table, by the door. Shouldn't be a problem. You can always find a use for them. And now these. Again, more salt and pepper shakers. These are not pieces I ordinarily pick up. For one thing, they're not hand-painted. The design is a decal. But the thing that caught me was there's gilding over the gilding. See the gilding here? There's a gilded design superimposed on top of that. That is remarkably pretty. Again, just because it's not my taste doesn't mean it's not anybody else's taste. And grabbing something like this, even though I look at it and say, gee, it's not my cup of tea. It's going to be somebody else's cup of tea, and somebody else is going to be happy with it. I can certainly see these in a very traditional home with a lot of vintage and antique furniture. So I wouldn't undersell that. And that's something you need to keep in mind when you go out shopping for pieces. Oh, excuse me, I've got such a tickle in my throat. When you go out shopping for pieces, you're not buying for yourself. Yes, your own taste needs to come into play because that's going to be your barometer as to whether or not it's a good piece. But remember, other people's tastes, they will buy what they want to buy. So I try very hard to keep that in mind. Just because it's not me doesn't mean it's not good. So something like this, no, not me, does not mean I will not find a buyer for it. American country is not me. And we've talked about this in the past. My friend Tina, her home is American country. And it's one of the most comfortable places I have ever been, and beautiful. My friend Jane across the street, again, American country, comfortable home, very warm, very inviting, and quite frankly, if I could pick up Williamsburg pottery pieces at thrift stores, I'd be doing it left, right, and sideways, because when I have had American country pieces available in my Etsy shop, it's not often because I don't see them, they sell quickly. So don't ever dismiss someone else's taste or just, I don't like it, so I'm not going to buy it. It's short-sighted. So here, let's grab these. Unmarked rosebuds. Whoa, are they ever Art Deco / modern. This is the sort of piece that could either be Art Deco or Art Modern because of these lines. And it's just beautiful. When I list them, and I will, because there's going to be an Art Deco collector who's going to snap these up, I will list them as Art Deco, not as Art Modern. The reason I will do that is because I believe, actually, they are more modern than Deco, but nobody seems to be very familiar with what Art Modern is, and therefore I'm going to leave it off the table, call it Deco, and people will be happy with it. But technically, that shape, that is Art Modern. That is terrific. Ah, jeez. I know, because I actually have my own little, my own little Art Deco salt and pepper set. But that would look great on my stove, wouldn't it? It's not going to stay on my stove. It's going to go somewhere else. This. Now this is, yes, we are Noritake. Noritake Lusterware piece. Take a look at this. Is that the most incredible American Southwest design? Wow, that just screams Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California to me. Very, very unusual for Noritake. So I would have grabbed this probably even if it wasn't just, $1 or $2. Beautiful, beautiful piece. And this is probably going to end up in the hands of someone who actually likes the Southwestern decorating style. We've got our turquoise leaves and the coppery bronze and this nice peach. Oh yeah, definitely somebody who likes that decorating style. This is an absolutely terrific piece. And I was very pleased with that. Let me grab a couple more because we're getting close to the end of our time. This is a lemon server. Now let me get this nasty little string off. This is a lemon server from Rainbow Falls, Watkins Glen, New York. And it has this sort of scene painted on it. Ordinarily, I would not pick up a piece that is clearly a souvenir piece from Watkins Glen, New York, but this is a beautiful Japanese piece, hand-painted, nice scene, and as I recall, it was 60 cents. It was not staying behind, not for 60 cents. Just a beautiful, like, waterfall design. Really sweet. It's a lemon server, and when it has the little handle like this, it was used not just to serve lemons, but to serve other little tidbits, with tea service. So perhaps it would be lemons. I don't know, perhaps it would be little mints or something. Little lemon server. This is Czech. I think it's Czech. Let's see. No, actually, it looks like it might be German. 2 plates. Very interesting design. What I was intrigued about was the Lusterware rib. It's peach fading into purple with this floral design. There is no question but that these are going to turn into bits of tidbit trays. Very interesting pieces. This one is cracked, but the crack doesn't go through. It's just a surface crack on the back. That means drilling it is going to be a delicate, delicate process. But I think I can do it. And also the price was really low on the set of plates, undoubtedly because of the crack. So those stay. They won't get listed until they've got their tidbit hardware. All right, these 2 pieces are not going into my Etsy shop, but they are going to one of my Etsy buyers. And I think I've mentioned this before, one of my frequent buyers, in addition to, her fondness for pictures, she collects miniature vases. So I've got this little miniature vase. It's sort of a Wedgwood design. That's a little girl carrying something, a basket. I think maybe there's a dog. Oh my goodness. There is a dog attempting to fornicate with her leg. That's what it looks like to me. Now, I realize that's what dogs do, but my goodness. All right. I'm going to make somebody else look at this, somebody who is sighted, and say, what in the world is that dog doing to that child's leg? Okay. Anyway, it's a Wedgwood style. Very nice little piece. That may be something she would like to add to her collection, along with this, which is a little Chinese ginger jar, just simple white with blue design. Again, teeny, teeny, tiny. And usually when I can, if I find something small like this that I know she collects, she'll make a purchase. I'll tuck it in to her box for her. Always take care of your regular customers. If you're going to sell online and you have somebody who goes back to your shop or your listings or, just shoot you an email, take care of them. You would be amazed at how much business you can get from somebody who is prepared to say, this is a great seller. This is somebody who's considerate. This is somebody who'll knock 5% off every now and then for me. This is somebody who will stick a little vase in my box. It's good business sense. But beyond that, it's good human sense in that if somebody's giving you a lot of business and they're doing it consistently, you need to say thank you. And little gifts like this, It's a way of saying thank you. It's a way of saying, I was out, I was looking around, and I thought of you. So remember that. Take care of your customers. All right. At this point, we're going to need to take off because we have to do pictures of all of these things so that you can see what it all was up close. I know you're not getting much from me holding it up to the screen, but the pictures, I'll make sure that those are good. I will see you next week. We are not through with the Black Rose haul yet, not by a long shot. So we've got a lot more of these. And please note, I'm sticking with things that are proven sellers in my Etsy shop. You may be wondering why. It's creamers and salt and pepper and sugar bowls and trinket dishes. That's what I sell. So always look at what you are selling. Make your decisions about buying accordingly. All right, stay tuned for the pictures. I will see you next week.